It's got everything. It's got the sexuality, it's got the message, it's got also something that many people would be fearful of doing, which is going out there, wearing very little and promoting a message. So I think a lot of people can't comprehend doing that. So it's got all those elements that came together and obviously had this viral effect in every sense. Unfortunately, the media and the news seldom report on this topic.
In the dairy industry, the male calves are murdered.
It's not like we want to do these things. We feel that we have to.
We need to do whatever it takes to help wake people up, to make the unconscious conscious.
The future of our planet is at stake, and if I gotta go out there naked, I'll do that.
Wow. Stefania, how do you get it together to go out and bear all for the animals?
Well, luckily, because of the sort of work I do a lot of modeling, whether it be fashion, swimwear, lingerie, second nature to me now. Although it was scary because talking publicly about animal rights tends to get a bit of backlash. So that's where my fear sort of came primarily from. But the response was fantastic. And to see it taking over and to see so many people around the world joining in was incredibly powerful.
Well, you have inspired so many people to do this. Wow, one of them is Jamie Logan. You went out on the streets of New York. Go get him, girl. Wow. What was that like?
I was standing there shaking. Unlike Stefania, this is something that was a little outside my comfort zone, but I just kept the animals in mind and I just kind of stood there and I had great conversations with people. So we had flyers. We were really engaging the public. It was definitely different than a lot of protests that I've done before, but it was very effective. It was great.
Jordan Ehrlich, you did a great job. You were very strategic in how you showed some of the exploitation of animals, but you didn't go too far. Like as soon as somebody might go, oh, I can't look at that, because that's the whole problem, is getting people to look at the reality.
It's really hard. And this was, one of the ways we could at least show some. I mean, there's so much horrific footage. There's just more footage than I could ever fit into any movie I ever make. But the idea here was I wanted to get the sense of what they were going through on the street. Obviously, they were only holding up signs. People who were walking by weren't seeing this footage. So we really only showed the footage at the beginning to set the stakes of why they were doing it. But in the middle, we didn't show it at all, and definitely did not want to show the most horrific because honestly, we couldn't show it on social media. We got flagged for it and you just can't show it.
In the film, there's this older woman who's put your clothes on. She's offended as if these women are exploiting themselves. But the truth is that you're choosing this. Animals have no autonomy over their own bodies.
Yeah, well, it is an interesting thing when people say, oh, you're exploiting yourself or you're giving into the patriarchy. No, it's actually the opposite. I'm using my power, my ability to be able to express myself freely to fight for those that don't have that at all.
Listen, the meat and dairy industry equates all sorts of meat products with things like patriotism, family values, upward mobility, keeping up with the Joneses, all of this stuff it has nothing to do with, and they sexualize. We know, we've seen those ads of women who are scantily clad eating a cheeseburger like this is Americana. Why can't we do that too?
Yo, definitely. That's the double standard that's going on, is when people are attacking the lingerie protest, they're talking about the sexualization of this topic. And it's just absurd because, like you mentioned with the yogurt ads, where they're eating yogurt in this sexual, sensual manner on TV ads, and it's got nothing to do with it. And they're sexualizing cheeseburgers with these models, with buxom models, and it's dripping down them. It's just ridiculous. It is so sexualized, and sexuality is used as a tool to sell these absolutely revolting and horrific products. So, hey, you know what? I'm going to take my sexuality back, the control of my body and bodily autonomy, and I'm going to use my sexuality to actually push what is right and to put an end to what's going on.
We're out there, we're trying to plant seeds. We are living in a world where people are asleep. We are doing anything and everything we can to just get people thinking, to wake them up. I 4 years ago was one of those people, and I try to think back to the mindset that I was in then and what would have caught my eye, what would have got me thinking. And I think that the people that were passing by, they saw the stakes of this issue. They respected, I think, the fact that like, wow, we care about this issue so much that we are taking our free time to go out into the public streets and do this. Whatever it takes is kind of where I'll leave it.
I mean, just from talking to all the activists and watching all the footage over and over again for weeks, what I realized that it really was working. I mean, there's people who would walk right by if they were showing horrific footage and they weren't there, if they were, fully clothed. People just walk by and go about their day and keep eating the foods that they eat without thinking twice. And this really engaged people that may not have stopped otherwise.
Are you thinking of doing it? Are you getting ready? Getting your skivvies out?
I don't think that would help, but I would if I thought it would help. Yeah.
Keep me posted. What a great job, all of you. You're all my heroes for doing this. Stefania, we only have a couple more minutes. Tell us how this has spread, because we have videos from all over the world now of people doing this. When did you know that your idea had gone viral?
I was quite surprised, to be honest. I did think that we would get, a fair bit of attention in person. I wasn't sure if it was going to be positive or not, but the fact that when we went out there and we did it in person and the response was really positive, that was fantastic. And then we put it on social media and the response was huge, and that was fantastic. And the next minute we started seeing groups of girls around the world, and some guys included, doing these protests in one corner of the globe, and then another in the months following. And to be honest, I don't really know how it happened, but it was fantastic and it was unexpected.
Look, this is spread around the world. Women all over the world are doing it, even in Japan, where the women were afraid of getting arrested if they stripped down. They did a variation on it, and they came up with this, which is really cute. Christmas outfits, Santa outfits. Boy, give them credit for going with the flow and figuring an end run around. Well, bravo to you. And you're doing incredible activism by showing the people who make the decisions in the fashion industry, this isn't cool, that isn't cool. And it's always tough to be on the front lines of change. If change and compassion were easy, everybody be doing it. Wow, well, you are all my heroes. I am just absolutely blown away by your courage, your creativity, your ingenuity, your relentlessness. Let's follow this up. We're not going to stop following you, Stefania. I'm sure that you've got some great protests in your future, and we'll be there covering it.
Thank you so much.
Bye.